Like many Americans, I found myself yesterday afternoon and evening glued to the television, watching the events that were unfolding in Washington before our eyes, and probably like a lot of people, also yelling at the television. And one word that kept coming up in the coverage was the word insurrection. Now, I imagine a lot of people like me Googled what exactly does the word insurrection mean? And it means a violence against a government or authority, or a violent attack against government or authority. And as we watched the events of yesterday unfold, and people storm up the steps of the Senate Capitol building, as those images will probably be ingrained in our minds for a long time, if not the rest of our lives, as we saw police officers trying to fend off on their own a weird disorganized mob of people. I was thinking about the contrast of that with the background of this celebration of these days, with the Feast of Christmas. And as we're still in the Christmas season, it got me thinking about the way in which the kingdom of the world is and the way that the kingdom of God is. Now, fortunately, this mob of people was pretty disorganized and didn't really have a plan, as it seemed from the footage that we saw yesterday. But God was very intentional, and God doesn't enter into our world by violence, but by incarnation. Instead of insurrection, he comes in incarnation. And we see that in our readings today, as we've been hearing all throughout this week from the first letter of St. John, where it talks about how Jesus is begotten by God. And today we hear that we are also, because we are followers of Christ, because we believe, begotten by God. What does that mean exactly? Well, begotten has to deal with Christ's freedom. Begotten means that Jesus wasn't forced to enter into the world, but that Jesus freely chose to enter into the world. That in entering into the world, he sacrificed nothing of what made him God. That he was fully God from the beginning. And I sort of imagine it like a door in which Jesus is ready to go in. He's ready to enter. He's ready to enter into this world, to leave eternity and to enter into time. And he surrenders everything as he opens that door, as he enters into our time and into our world. And so today, in our first reading today, we also hear John say, anyone who loves, anyone who follows Christ, is also begotten by God. We get to take on the role of Christ and also enter into this world and give of ourselves, sort of like that doorway, enter into this world. But we are called to too be motivated by the same thing that motivated Christ, love. Love must be our driving force. And just as Christ entered into this way, not in the view of millions of national cameras and international cameras, he entered in a hidden, quiet way. So to us as followers of Christ are called to take on this love, to be begotten by God each day as we choose in faith to love in hidden, quiet ways. So on this day in which we are very much aware of the kingdom of earth, may we too focus on the kingdom of heaven and Christ breaking into our own time as he invites us to today be motivated purely by love.